Hey everyone, good morning and happy Saturday. Hopefully I speak in this entire video, but I'm not sure. Here's this week. Morning pages, prayers. I've got my devotion notes, my scripture writing. This has been really helpful. Got my food log. I've had my bar with my coffee. Homeschool stuff. There's a lot of stuff I haven't gotten to, so I'm gonna try. I did that. I still need a lot of different things, but this week has been. No, we're not going to New York anymore, so I don't need to do that. Well, I don't need to. I was gonna do like an New York inspired trip. I do want to buy some more of that. Astrology. This is that devotional is too, how do you say? I believe in God. Like, I believe in God's the reason for everything. And I don't like the words that are used in like the universe or manifestation, or I do believe you can manifest stuff, but it's with the help of the Lord. So I don't know, different things there. I'm not gonna get that anymore. I don't know why I did that. I need to do this. Oh my goodness. I did journal. We had a lot going on yesterday. Let's see. I'm gonna use green here. Battery issues. Jumped car. I wanna make sure I know that. Here's this week. I've been up since 7:30 and I did not go to bed until like 1:30. Could not sleep. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, sorry, Lord. Made some coffee. I do need to take my meds. Let me make sure I put that big. Oh gosh, this is the reason why I take them like this, like with you guys, because if I was to write it there, take meds, I'm sure would this move out the way? I'm sure I would forget. Hold on. Sorry guys. I'm trying to move shit out of my way. So, and also my daughter, Sophia slept with me last night, and it's just been a little. Ooh. That as if I'm gonna do that with you guys. So sorry. You might be like, Monique, really? At least let me try to drink water away from you guys. So Sophia has a play date, and I text her to be like, hey, can you guys come a little later? Because like 1 o'clock is, no, I said you guys come at like 2:30. I have no idea where I'm gonna take the girls per se. I do think that the weather is really good and that we should go somewhere. I just don't know what. My biggest things are laundry, the Walmart order, figure out dinner. I didn't weigh myself. Normally at the beginning of a month, I, log my weight for the ending month, and I have no idea what my ending month was. So I was like, normally I do that today. So I'm going to try to remember to log my weight because it's important for me. I don't feel like I lost anything, but we'll see. And this is going to be evening routine. As far as next week, I do want to do some with you guys, not all. I usually do save my habit tracker for later. I'm gonna use my Uniball Jetstream 1.0. I do want to use this here, these little I got 2 of them. They're from Planner Spawn. I don't know. I'm sure I was gifted that. I don't buy from sticker shops anymore. I stopped that a long time ago. I don't buy from the planner community on like small businesses hardly anymore. I think they're great in what they do and how you guys provide service. That's so amazing. It's just that sometimes it's like, I just want stuff fast. Well, no, not sometimes, all the time. And I'm not gonna, like, if I spend my money and it doesn't come fast enough, we're gonna have problems. So I've had my bad experiences with shops in the community, and I'm just like, no thanks. It's kind of like, why would you put yourself through that stress? You know, they're a small business. They may have stuff going on. I don't know what next week is. The 2nd? I should have used these for my brain dump. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the next one, I'm not going to use those. This is my prayers. So in the morning, I write down what's on my brain, and then like anything, good, bad, ugly, little snippet. Then I'll pray. I should probably just do the stickers and not half-ass it. I gotta buy some more of these too. I pray, you know, just a small little prayer. Then I do my devotion notes. The devotion notes I'm using this year, I think, is Jesus Always. It's not Jesus Calling. I like to follow a daily devotional, and I will look up the scripture according to it and write it out, and it just helps me. I'm getting back into that habit. I used to do it all the time. That's crooked, whatever. But I took it away from my main planner for like a while because I just felt like it became like a lot of personal, like a little bit personal than the norm, like especially my prayers. I was having like, it's just anything faith related I was taking out and not sharing with you guys because I would get just dumb comments, and then people would screenshot my prayers, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. So mainly family members would screenshot my stuff and a few others, but I'm just like, whoa. So I understand that a part of watching someone share their lives, look at, oh my gosh, it's because I'm not overhead, you know what I mean? Like I can't truly see, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I share my life. I do share my tidbits. I mean, obviously I don't share like my face and vlog my family, but I do know that some of you feel like you know me because I say my family's names. I give you guys like very in-depth, I say. Did I do my prayers? Yeah. So that's devotion and then the scripture. But I do in-depth, you know, I share stories, so I get that. But just sharing my stuff sometimes in the regarding faith area was just downright draining. So like when I removed it out of my pages, especially if it's in my weekly, I need things that when I have a tab within my weekly section, that is going to be routine and it's going to call attention as something important to me because I am touching this book multiple times a day. So having my faith in there as far as like my devotion notes, prayers, scripture writing, all that. And a lot of that I use for copy work, especially like devotion and scripture writing, meaning repetitive writing, mindless writing, So, not having it within my system wasn't good. This is what happens when you don't label your crap, Monique. So morning pages, prayers, devotion, food log. This is homeschool. Right? And then this is brain dump. So yeah, putting it back into my system has definitely helped my, just like my focus in terms of, Monique, focus on the good, focus on what the Lord is saying, like how, as one of my grounding techniques, because my faith is really big in my grounding techniques. So yeah. The topic I want to talk about today, I know I share personal stuff a lot when I'm setting up my things, and that's kind of like how I engage with y'all, is being an autistic parent. And being an autistic parent to adult children. And because I have children that have all different age ranges, and normally they're about 10 years apart. Like Isaac is about 10 years apart from my older boy. And I'm missing one. What the hell is this? Hold on, guys. So, habit tracker, morning page, prayers, devotion notes, food log, homeschool, brain dump. Oh my gosh, I have 3 extra pages. Did I count it correctly? Oh my gosh. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, I have 3 extra pages. I'm kind of psyched about that. I don't know if I did that next week. But yeah, neurodivergency. So if you're new to my channel, I found out about my neurodivergency from my children. Sophia was the first one diagnosed on the spectrum when she was 3. And because of that, our son, our middle son, well, I have a 29-year-old son and a 17-year-old son, a 31-year-old stepdaughter, and then an 8-year-old. So I have all the different ranges there. And I'm a teen mom, so I grew up fast. So, and going through that, and then also being neurodivergent and not knowing, and then finding out later in life, like I've been going through this whole transition thing. I found April 2023. And I did that because I was like, something's wrong. Something is majorly wrong with my moods, with my stress, with my routines, with my rigidity, with my relationships, with social interaction, with like all the stuff that I saw my children going through. I knew it wasn't just generalized anxiety disorder and depression, which is what I was normally always diagnosed with. I knew I had ADHD for sure. I just didn't know all the things that came along with ADHD because there was so much stigma in terms of you get on Ritalin, as far as like when you were a kid, that's like, oh, those are those kids that are very bad in terms of behavior and all this stuff, because that's how it was portrayed when I grew up in the 80s. And so, and I'm 81, I was born 81. So being a teenage mother, navigating that, trying to raise him, being married, then divorced, then remarried, having 2 other kids with that marriage, which is what I'm in now. And then finding out our last daughter, the one that we knew we weren't going to have any more kids, was autistic. And then our son, it was like, oh my gosh, it made me take a look at myself. And then my husband would bring things to my attention, and then it made me look at my husband's actions. So he has ADD. So we have like a whole neurodivergent family, and understanding each other's quirks and getting along with each other sometimes because everybody has sensory issues. And everybody has like mood issues and, anxiety, depression, like everything is all in our house. But if you are familiar with autism and ADHD and OCD and those things, yes, they don't define me. However, they are a part of me, and they are the reason for a lot of the things that I experience. And as a mother, when you're trying to do things and then you are experiencing high stress, let me explain one example because it happened last night. Our son is autistic, and I hate to use the word high functioning, but that's how all of us are. Asperger's is no longer in the diagnosis criteria. It's now just autism spectrum. And I hate to be like, oh yeah, we're the ones with higher intelligence. No, we're not. We're on a spectrum. But in terms of communicating the different support levels and the support needs, it's a lot of social, it's a lot of the routine rigidity, it's a lot of momentum and executive function and emotional regulation. So I'm laying in bed. It's like midnight. Sophia's going to be sleeping in the room with me. We're getting our routines done, and those have to be done a certain way, and those, like, all the stuff. And so my son calls and he's like, Mom, my battery's dead. And he knows he has to come home by midnight. And he has a lot of different things that he struggles with too. So he can excel in a lot of different areas, very, very gifted, very in terms of science, math, logic. But there are certain things in terms of social and, like, just, how do I say this? Like, Einstein couldn't tie his shoe, but he was super smart. You know what I'm saying? And so that kind of stuff. When we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, I'm really good at multitasking and cooking really fast. And, like, my mother skills come into play. But then I look back and all the cabinets are, like, completely open. And I'll burn myself sometimes when I cook. Or I don't follow recipes to the T. I eyeball stuff. But, like, there's just, like, all kinds of stuff that happens, I handle stress differently than my husband and my son and my stepdaughter. And Sophia's young, so she's navigating through that, and I'm helping her with her coping mechanisms and stuff. And so he's like, Mom, my battery's dead. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck? In my head, like, what is going on? Mind you, we have had a lot of money come out of our pocket because of certain things that has happened to him. And, nobody talks about really, like, autism and driving. And I didn't even know it was a thing. But for years, even when I was a kid and I grew up and I was getting a driver's license, I was like, holy shit, this is scary. Like, I'm scared. My proximity to cars and my reaction time is not as fast. Okay. So as I was growing up, I had a problem with speeding. I didn't get in accidents where I hurt anybody, but I've rear-ended people one time. I slid on the freeway with ice because I didn't know how to drive with icy roads. I can't parallel park. I can't back in very good. I can't drive big vehicles. I have to drive small cars lower to the ground. My anxiety is completely different now than it was when I was starting to drive versus mid-age, and then, like, now, And so I now don't like to drive. I hate driving because and then I was in an accident, a really bad accident last year myself, and totaled the car, and all that was so scary, very scary. I thought I was gonna die, to be honest. So driving in itself is difficult for someone on the spectrum. Someone who is neurodivergent, someone whose brain is different, sends and receives different. We tend to input a lot in our brain, and then it just gets all scrambled up, kind of thing, for me at least, and in this home. So my son has had his fair share of accidents, and his fair share of vehicle issues that have caused a lot of problems. And some of them were a lot of his fault because, again, he's very, very common sense, very, very logic, scientific, but the common sense for like using the car and driving into a friend's driveway, and you guys listening to the radio and leaving the car off, you're going to drain the battery. But some would say, oh, that's just being a teenager, and that's being a part of life, and that's being a part. We all did that, and I understand that, but the way that he deals with that is differently. So I'm stressed. My husband's not around right now, and he's out on a business trip, and so I'm stressed. I react different with stress. He reacts different with stress. I have children at home that my older daughter reacts different. My younger daughter does. So like the only support system I have is my husband. And the only support system we have is each other. And then trying to navigate parenting when we're both neurodivergent, that is, y'all, it's not for the weak. I'm going to tell you that much. Let's put some stickers down. And so it just affects the household differently. It affects our moods differently. We have delayed processing with emotions. We're all very, like, we are, we're all empaths to some degree. We have a strong sense of justice and a strong sense of level, like when it comes to humanity and acceptance. And, we all like hard things a certain way. We all have to process things a certain way. And when you're trying to regulate yourself as a parent and then trying to regulate your child and trying to provide good coping skills for them and trying to raise them to not be an asshole, you know what I mean? Or just raise them and get through this crazy ass life because hello, have we all like looked up and found out that this world is completely in the dumpster? And then so we have to do that. And to top it all off, we're a blended family and we are a minority family. I am Mexican, my husband's African American. We have mixed children, so you've got that factor too. So man, y'all, any of y'all know who is an autistic person yourself or neurodivergent? I'm just not going to use autistic because there's so many other things to that. So we'll just use neurodivergent in terms of the way the brain is there. But I know that for me, I need space. I need to isolate. I need to sensory, the smells, the inconvenience, the panic that sets in when, how do I say this? I don't know how to jump a car that's dead and use jumper cables to the extent of maybe my husband, because my husband is very logic. He approaches life through a scientific lens, and so does our son. So, but I approach life through both, but also very abstract. I had to grow up young, and then the street smarts is where comes into play for me. Like, I didn't have parents that showed me how to handle conflict, how to handle myself, like how to handle life. I grew up early and I didn't have any navigation. I had to rough it. I had to figure it all on my own. And so my children's, especially like my older boy and my middle, like all three of my kids except Sophia, they all react to life different. They all have had different struggles. We've had so much issues and experiences than the different, how do I say, differently than the norm. I don't want to say normal, the neurotypical family. Oh man, I'm like running out of these little monos. I've got to get some more. But man, y'all, we all have sleep problems. So that's why, I homeschool, obviously, because our daughter, there's no way our daughter can go navigate through a public school system. And my son, by the grace of God, made it because he we found out when he was like, I say 9, going into middle school, I think 5th grade, going to 6th grade. And that was a very difficult. And so navigating school, navigating friendships, navigating relationships, transitions, sensory in school, man, it's totally different. And, you know, the thought for me, okay, me only, of my child going out into a world that is not already set up for him or accommodates his neurodivergency, nor his culture or his race or his upbringing, like the other ones get. There's not a privileged lifestyle or a privileged thing that he comes from. Yes, he comes from privilege in terms of he comes from a 2-parent household, because there's not a lot of children that do. But man, it's scary to send him off to college or send him off. It's not going to be the typical, well, go to college and we're here and navigate. So navigating life is extremely different for a child on the spectrum. So I don't know exactly. I guess my thing was, it's been exhausting for me to figure this all out, but because I know God, okay, and because I have a husband, and because I'm not doing life alone in raising our children, yeah, it makes it that much easier, or not easier, a lot more manageable in some areas. It's just you gotta get through. You just gotta get through. You gotta try to regulate yourself as much as you can. You've got to try to prioritize rest more. You gotta try to prioritize. I'm trying to look for some washi. I guess I should use the ones that I said I was gonna use, right? There is a lot that goes behind the scenes there, and I forget a lot of stuff. The way that my brain works is it works very fast. And then by the time I'm going to speak, the words came out wrong. My face will be wrong. My approach is completely different. I have delayed processing, you know, so it's like, I'll say something and I'll be like, oh my gosh, what the hell did you just say? And it may not even make sense. It may not be the correct words. And I have children that, that will correct me. Mom, that's not what that means. That's not what that says. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, whatever. But sometimes it gets on my everlasting nerve. Like, they all act like they know more than me. Or they all act like, oh, you know, like, I mean, Isaac's, when he was growing up in school, he would correct his teachers. I would always get calls, you know, he's being rude, he's being mean, he's being, not mean, but he's being rude in terms of he's correcting the teacher's grammar. He's very accelerant with learning and, you know, the level of being bored and not challenged enough for a child that has ADHD too, because he has ADHD as well. So it's just, oh gosh. And that is why I have my hobby. And that is why I have what I have, and I share what I share, and I do what I do, because it's like, if I didn't have this area where I could just work with my hands. This is some shit washi. What do I expect from Amazon sometimes? It's hit or miss with quality. But shit, we're gonna use this somehow. So I'm throwing that one away because I'm pissed. So it's like, okay, Monique, when I communicate, I've got to go to any reference that I wrote down, because when I am really dysregulated, don't count on me to try to communicate things correctly or remember how to, look at you, how to give you your needs of validation, appreciation, or like I do it better with my children. I'll be more level-headed and more like I have to have a talk with my son when he wakes up. And what I have to do to prepare myself is I have to write it down. I have to, type it out, brain dump it, what I want to say, prioritize my words, because I can be very blunt. And I am very blunt, and I will tell you about yourself immediately, and it will come out completely wrong in terms of feelings and emotion, because I'll be like, why would you do that? That makes absolutely no sense. And without thinking like, Monique, you can't approach it like that. So how I approach life sometimes is I have an anxious aura, I have a frustrated aura, I have a like why are you inconveniencing me now kind of aura. I mean, it happens. And last night I felt very like I'm in bed, and I just like, right now is not the time to be a parent. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I don't have time to be a parent right now. Like, it's been a very stressful day. And normally I can tag team. Like, if my husband was here, he would have totally handled that situation. And so it's a different level of, so, I didn't talk to my son about like what the hell is going on and how did we get to this point of a dead battery. All I was like worried about was getting the car jumped correctly, because we have a hybrid vehicle and his one is not. And I don't know if you know, but your battery in a hybrid vehicle is in your trunk. So here I am trying to, with my husband and my son, trying to identify where the hell the battery is and trying to jump it correctly. And so all I was really focused on was, can we get this car to our house? Because I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to call AAA. So I called like 3 guys in terms of who my husband knows, very good friends of terms of Isaac's friends. Like, we got in, we're close with their parents and stuff, to see if they could come and help me. Of course, nobody answers because they're sleeping at 1 a.m. So it goes way beyond. How come you didn't think that not leaving your car on while you're listening to the radio for an hour and a half or 2, that your battery wouldn't drain? Those things are not going to obviously come easy for a teenager, but in more so, they're not going to come, like, he has time blindness. He's not going to, there's just so much. I can't even like properly explain it and properly get my words out of how that situation affected him last night too, and then affected me. I'm sure he had problems trying to figure out, as a teenager, how I'm going to call my mom and tell her this, first of all. How am I going to handle it, second of all? But our son did a really good job with my husband in calmly getting the battery juiced up. But I had to quickly react differently, because I had to quickly do that. And I had to do that in front of a little girl that I do not know. Because, again, when you're different and you handle things different, you mask for society because you don't want to be looked at as different. And I did that my whole life. So just because I still do it, and it's a habit, when you don't feel safe in being yourself, and society will be like, what the hell's wrong with you? You tend to try to fit in with how society will accept you. So hard, okay? Just hard. had to do with my son. But I pulled up something and I had some notes because I want to share this. And you may just you could skip over the video, that's fine. But verywellhealth.com had an article, right? Not wants to freeze. And it's talking about how to parent as an autistic person. And some of the things I wrote down were on the back of my sticker sheet. Like implementing routines, burnout, limited social support, advocating for your child, and then having anxiety about inadequate parenting, and then realizing, I deserve support too. What's normal is that, especially like with play dates, she's coming to our house today. Minor issues, there's things that maybe you're not like, I don't like anybody in my space. I don't like the sound. I don't like the smell of other people. I don't like the energy or aura of other people. I can't seem to communicate correctly, normalize my emotion until I'm at baseline. And obviously I can be very articulate when I'm at baseline. Like now I can be very knowledgeable and aware, but when certain things happen, I can cry over the most, like last night. My husband's on the phone. I am crying. I am panicking. I am melting down with my husband, but I've got to prepare myself fast before I get to my kid. And, it's hard. As a kid, I used to cry because I had to say hello to people. That was really big. My rage is kind of totally different than a normal individual, trust me. The mom guilt, totally different. Like, I love exploring with our children. I explore in their world, but it didn't get to that love. Sometimes I'm like, why did I have kids? I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be a parent. I don't want to do any of this. And you may say that as a parent and then move on. I know I'm stuck in it for 4 days or 5 days, and I'm stuck in, and loop thinking is like, I don't want to be a parent. What can I do to not be a parent? And it's like feeling bad for even having that, or how can I accommodate? So, having someone who is autistic, I think my husband is autistic, but he's autistic. I think neurodivergent people attract neurodivergent people. I really do. I really believe in that. And we can spot it out really quickly, I feel. So as I had a conversation with my son and just bringing awareness to how it's kind of like my husband has taught me, speak positive first. Because I also am like, I got to work harder to speak positive first. So we have limited support of people who we can trust with our children, first of all, because we handle our children differently than any other person outside coming in. Like, there's not a person like a babysitter. We can't just bring some random babysitter to watch our children. No, it's not working like that. I don't know if this was appropriate to share on my planning channel, but I don't care. I am very big about self-awareness. I'm very big about being transparent and genuine. I've always had like a knack for encouraging people, and then also navigating your faith and spirituality as an autistic person is totally different too. But it's really feeling like I don't have the capability or the skills to raise this child, and neither do they have the capabilities of being in a world that's not set up for them. And then you have to try to like prioritize yourself before you can get to them, because if you don't, I've had it where it's completely freaking I flatlined basically. And so I share this, I guess, basically to let you know you're not alone in the struggles that you go through. And I definitely see you too, as a person, as a mother, as a woman, as a human being, if your brain operates differently than the typical person. And my extreme advice is you've got to advocate for yourself. And that comes with a level of confidence. And if it's very difficult to develop self-esteem and confidence as an autistic person as well. I'm still developing. Y'all think, oh, wow, Monique seems to have to get it together, or she's, no. You have to remember, I only share what I want to share with you guys. And so, man, it's like, find support. Even if, like, say you're a single mother, but you do have, or a single parent, and you do have maybe a mom or a dad or a cousin or an aunt or an uncle. I don't have that. But if you do have that one person and you don't know how to explain, you know, hey, I'm autistic, or I suspect I'm neurodivergent, see a psychologist. A psychiatrist. See one. Get tested. Get evaluated. Dive deeper. Research. And see how you can help yourself. Because if you don't help yourself, you're not going to be able to help. You're not going to be a good human being in this society. It's so hard. You're going to isolate yourself. You're going to fall into anxiety, depression, and it is not going to be fun if you haven't already. Seek professional help in terms, if you got to get on medication, get on medication. Like, honestly, I wasn't a big advocate of medication, if you've watched my videos before, because I fell into that Christian mentality because of my parents, how they raised me, in terms of, you know, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell if you don't do that. And then also because I was so scared I was going to be like my mother, who was on medication and abused it. And it was, if I didn't have my husband in my life. Now we have a lot. Now, maybe another thing is being married to a neurodivergent, like being married being autistic and neurodivergent. And then also navigating that. And then if the other person is neurodivergent too, y'all have to have a whole different game plan. There is no cookie cutter counseling that will help you guys. There is not that the books, you have to find like a self-affirming autistic therapist, because then they will just, the same goes for your children. You have got to let them know that your child is autistic or something like that, because they're going to try their cookie cutter approach as well. My son's therapist, I had to like step in and be like, hey, that whole, you know, breathe and relax and count to 10 and, you know, and identify your emotions and go zen out. That to a person on the spectrum will have you in a rage. I'm sorry. We don't handle life like that, ma'am. And again, ADHD, it's not laziness. It's not a depressive response. Okay, it's not. And especially if you can't identify that. Anyhow, I found my personal wide, and now I'm stuck. Like, holy shit, I like this. Look at this. Look at this. You're not alone. There's people that do care. You are loved. You matter. You are strong. You are amazing, and you are wonderful. And I should maybe put that front and center in some kind of planner, right? Because finding, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put over here and I'm gonna show you my notes that I have. Well, here's my notes that helped me understand I was autistic, and my husband had to, let me just share with you just a little. Long episodes of depression when even on medication. Hard to understand people's emotions, especially when angry at me. Misread their emotion or tone or voice. Fear of unknown is so huge, and I dislike interruptions. I spend hours wondering if my husband is mad, or he's scared, or he doesn't want to be with me. Oversharing. I grow resentful, and it's hard for me to adapt in relationships. Or even just try to communicate with them. Being around people is so debilitating, where it physically hurts and it drains me. binge eating. I feel like I'm not like everyone. I feel like I'm an alien. I don't want to be around people. I'm overly extroverted in certain cases, anxious, panicked, fearful, especially with my children, and especially with things in the home and catastrophic events, and having compulsive and intrusive thoughts blending in with life, covering me so others won't see the real me, isolating myself and thinking that maybe that person hates me, sleep issues, falling asleep, staying asleep, needs loads of alone time in the dark, hyperfixations, intimacy issues, brain fog. I zone out in conversations. I talk super fast and I interrupt. I hide my feelings. I don't want to deal with people's expectations. I don't want to leave the house. I live by routine. I eat the same food. I don't like new foods and smells. I have high anxiety with travel. I check the stove every time I leave the house and lock the doors. Excessive spending, honing in on something and doing it fast, cooking, cleaning, writing bills, but then burning myself. And love to write. Let's see, occasional suicide thoughts, burn self and cookie, clumsy, wash hands exclusively, dislikes my dogs, the smell, the chewing's repulsive. Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on. So, see, health notes. Prior, I had to work with my friend and help me that maybe you should write down affirmations for your husband in marriage. Because at the time when something happens, I'm like, what is wrong with you? What's happening to you? I don't know what's happening to you. I can understand you. Like, get away, go away. I don't understand your emotions. So I have to write down, I have no words of affirmation for you right now, but I love you. Because I won't start with, hey, I love you, but I'm angry at the situation right now, but that doesn't mean I don't care about your feelings. Thank you for respecting my space. Can we talk later? I'm sorry I can't acknowledge you in the moment, but I will try later. We're still a team. I value kindness from you, so I am kindly telling you that I love you despite my mean face. Fight the situation, not each other. That's a whole nother thing, but it's real. It's real. And until you look up and you're like, hey, I need some freaking support and stat, you're going to continually struggle your whole life. I'm just being honest. So I found this personal wide and now I'm like, holy shit, I want this. Let me show you the difference between personal wide, personal, and Franklin Covey. So this is personal wide, that is Franklin Covey, and that is personal. And then where's the pocket? Let's do, I don't know, this one comes out, right? And then like pocket, that's not good, huh? Because you can't see the, so if you came to this channel for planning today, I'm sorry, I had limited, but I did want to share, and I think I will title the video, being an autistic parent and sharing some of my planners, like for real. Let me see if some of these are, I don't know, I think I stopped doing a lot of the slicing and dicing, friends. Let's do this one because it's important. I think sometimes people want a visual. So see that these are not going to align. Okay. Every single one of these have the same ring mechanism. So these are just smaller rings in this is a Studio 52 personal size. It's just smaller rings so that I can get into this size, like a B6. And then obviously Franklin Covey and personal, I can up my rings more for the space. So I did that. Oh shit, let me put this back in. And then I was like, oh my gosh, so that's journaling. And then I have this paper. I think that's the Oxford composition paper. Oh, love. And then I put my some of my undated Wonderland 222 in the B6 size. Oh, look at this, guys. Read 10 pages daily. Continue meal planning. Plan one family outing. Pick a room to organize. Try something new. A baby group. Create a financial plan. Oh, it's just like things you can do monthly. That's cool. So look at, I had like put it all in here. Ooh, this was right. This was nice, right? So if you want to read the Bible in a year, look up on Pinterest pictures of a Bible reading bookshelf or something like that, and you can color in when you read in all the books of the Bible. I think that's so cool. I really, really enjoy Wonderland for their trackers, but then I don't, because I'm like, you guys have entirely too many trackers. Oh my gosh, look at this. Your marriage is holy and of the Lord. Communicate, don't suppress. Admit mistakes, forgive quickly. Adopt a gentle spirit. Ask for forgiveness. Always pray together. Be a listening ear. Flirt with him. Quit nagging. Compromise more. Thank you for his work. I'm sure my husband, if he could tell it, he would be. My husband's very positive, by the way. He would be like, yeah, we struggle there. A mission. Look at this. I don't even know where this came from, but I like these because this is the layout I just drew. And then these perpetual calendars are so long ago. Look, from 2021, but I like them because you can just boom, and you can use them repetitively. Like, look, this is from my husband, but I don't want to get rid of that one, so because it has, so I would, this is when I used to do gratitude for my husband. I should probably keep that so I can remember. But putting reminders around this whole house about how to regulate myself, we do that in our home. There's reminders because our children have to also what they tell themselves is very important. And I didn't get a whole, I got my stepdaughter when she was like 10. That's when me and my husband found each other. But she already had 10 years of habits and 10 years of coping and 10 years of all this other stuff. So, you know, me coming into her life, that's also something different for her. So I didn't get to establish her foundation like I can with Sophia. So navigating being a step parent as well when you're on the spectrum is on, or navigating adult children. Okay, so that, look at that. That's so cute. So I can use all of these still. So like I would go back over here, right, if I used it. And I would put this here for notes. And I think I had it like that. So I've got that perpetual calendar. Let's do this. So what's this last one? Yeah. So put that like that. And then this is the end, the back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. That's freshman year. And he's going to be he's a senior. He's going to, oh my gosh, I just had a conversation with him about like, you're about to transition into adulthood. And legally, Dad and I won't be responsible for you unless we set up a thing and all that other stuff for his. So, and transitioning into different things for him. I'm like, so friends, no, I don't like that there. This is really cute. This is like, I think I'm going to try and find it again on Pinterest. I don't even know how long I've been spending time with you guys, but you guys help me in terms of I have an area and a space where I can process out and talk with you about life and I'm going to say life and planning. Camera, pictures, floral, vellum, I don't know. I have no idea how I found this, but it's really pretty. So what I'll typically do if I find something like with a camera, I'll just want it once it's still thinking. I'll like go and search and search and search until, because I don't pin things. And my daughter was like, you should pin things. I'm like, So, I don't, oh, wait. Oh, I don't know. If I find it, I don't share things. I could just show you how to do stuff. I don't know, but I really like this. Let's download that. Look how pretty. I think, and say someone will take you to Amazon. And having Pinterest on the iPad versus your iPhone is totally different in some aspects. See, like cute coffee clip art, you know? Like you can just do stuff however you want in Pinterest. And I feel as long as you're using it for personal use, that's good, but do not try and sell people's art as your own. Like that is horribly wrong. So anyhow, I'm gonna, oh, look at this, guys. That's cute. I'm gonna try my hardest to find this again so I can print one for my pocket. I know this wasn't like a whole lot of planning per se, and I'm sorry, but there were a lot of flips. So I'm going to use these because look, today's mood, cool. Even though I track my mood like this, if I go to daily and just like overall put my mood, I don't know, these probably are from Happy Planner. That seems like amazing. So, thanks for watching as usual. God bless you and take care.